sorry to single you guys out there, but you are literally everyone. Are you two together? Like, is that... Yeah? Okay, well, I guess I can't single you out then. You're a couple now. If you come back in 2 weeks, then I can single you out. As a breakup joke. Haha. Speed running being on the bad side of the audience. With Fancy Ray talking about names earlier, I thought it was only appropriate that I do an entire set talking about names. I recently convinced a girl to name her new kitten as of like 2 weeks, like they've been together 2 weeks. Her new kitten's name is Admiral Bread Bowl, which I think is a fantastic name.
That is.
I think it's a great name. And I was asked to justify why I was fighting so hard for Admiral Bread Bowl. Other than the obvious of it's a great name, I had to think about it, and I thought of my justifications, and for one, Admiral, right? That is a high-ranking government position, which means it's pretty stable. It might not be fancy. Government work is not fancy, but it is stable, right? That shows leadership qualities, being an admiral as well, and sailors are really good with knots, right? And famously, being part of the Navy, that's gay as hell. Which is probably why they got so good at the knots. Now, the bread bowl part is a lot harder to explain. But like, come on, think about it. Bread bowl, that's perfect. So, there's no real justification for that one. But I was explaining this to another person. I was telling them about Admiral Bread Bowl and how I have officially won the competition, the name competition, that I don't think anyone else knew they were entering. But I put my name in the hat, and then I bothered her until it became official that his name is Admiral Bread Bowl. And I was explaining this to somebody else, and I gave all of my points. And I was like, you know, the government job, it's nice, it's stable, it's nice, they're gay as fuck, right? And her response was, I don't know, I don't think I would fuck a military man. And I was like, okay, sure, I also don't feel like I'd be able to have sex with someone who is like actively serving in the military. But I don't think that matters too much in this naming scheme because I also wouldn't fuck a cat. So it doesn't really change anything now, does it?
One hopes.
I go with Admiral Bread Bowl. Perfect name. Anyway, then there's also my personal cat. His name is Bugsy. I got him and he already had a name, so I was not able to name him. I think he is incredibly Bugsy. Like, it is a perfect name. You look at him and you're like, damn, that's Bugsy. But I was able to give him a backstory. Similar to how Admiral Bread Bowl now has an entire profession at 2 weeks old being an admiral, Bugsy used to be the world's greatest wizard. And so let's talk about magic here really quick though. Magic in pretty much all mediums where there is magic requires some sort of activating force. There is kind of like wild magic where it's uncontrollable, but generally there is some sort of like activating force behind it, right? You need to say a magic spell, you need to do some sort of thingy with your hands, there's something, sometimes you need a wand, right? Bugsy used to be the world's greatest wizard, and one day he was practicing transformation spells, and he accidentally transformed himself into a cat. Now the problem is, spells require some sort of activating thing, either words or moving your hands or whatever, and now he's a cat who cannot talk and does not have opposable thumbs. He's stuck like that, and he's just decided he's fine. He likes being a cat, and I can tell because he won't stop bothering me about it. He goes up to me all the time and lets me know that he absolutely loves being a cat. And then he chews on my power cord a little bit. And I love him tremendously. He is perfect. I can't remember all of the things, so I'm not. So there's also Sassy, who's my fiance's cat. She has like 5 PhDs. and she is a doctor. And I cannot remember the rest of that. But there's a lot of it there. She's also great. And then there's Nart, also known as Naruto something 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 anime. And he's a dumbass. Professionally.
He's orange.
He's also orange, which is the name Naruto. And also, he's a dumbass. Hence the name Naruto. Okay, well that's it. I didn't really have a real set. There was just nobody on the list, so I wanted to fill time. I can tell you guys about horror movies if you want me to just keep going. There's the movie The Sand. That was bad. It's a movie where a bunch of college people are partying during spring break and they're on a beach and they fall asleep and they wake up and it turns out the sand has an alien in it and that alien eats people through the sand. Except it eats people slightly differently every single time and it's very inconsistent and they all make the dumbest possible decisions. At one point, they have a great idea, genuinely a smart idea, of taking hot dogs and throwing it to see where they will get eaten, right? Except they have 5 hot dogs and they throw 4 of them to the same spot. They're like, okay, we need to figure out where is safe. So if we keep throwing these, eventually they'll get to a point where it's safe and we'll know because it won't get eaten. They throw the first one, it gets eaten. They're like, okay, next. They throw it, same spot, gets eaten. They're like, oh man. How could we have seen that coming? Next one, same spot, eaten. Oh fuck, oh we're running low. The fourth one, the guy throws it in the same spot, but this time it gets captured by a seagull. That's different, still gets eaten. The 5th one, they're like, wait, what if we throw it somewhere else? And then they throw it, they find a safe spot. They're like, okay, this area is safe, cool. And now they know that there's an area that is safe. If they can manage to get over there, they're good, right? And they have 2 surfboards. So one of them comes up with a genuinely good idea of stacking the surfboards end to end and then walking across them and then moving it, right? Except he decides, instead of going to the safe place, to go to a picnic table closer to the center. And I don't know why, and he dies. That movie's dumb as hell, but it stars Mitchell Musso, the guy from Hannah Montana. That was the only reason we watched it. Goodbye, everybody.
Woo!